Tucked in the hills of northeast Pennsylvania lies a prison that is among the most dangerous in the country. It has held some of the most fearsome men in America, including foreign terrorists and organized crime figures. This is one of the lesser-known penitentiaries operated by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, a division of the U.S. Department of Justice, but it still poses a large risk to both inmates and staff alike. Next on Chasing Crime, we'll be profiling the United States Penitentiary, Canaan. We'll explore some of the details of the facility and move on to some of the violent incidents that have occurred at this prison before finishing with some notable inmates being housed here. Let's get into it. The prison is named not after the town where it is located, but rather the township. The facility is located in Waymart, Pennsylvania. Although in Pennsylvania, towns are referred to as boroughs, Waymart is small, with just over 1,000 residents. The area is noted for its safety and cost of living, but lacks jobs and a way to make a living. The area is characterized as having warm and wet summers with freezing and snowy winters. The Pennsylvania Department of Corrections operates a nearby prison, SCI Waymart, which houses over 1,000 offenders. In the early 2000s, the federal government would embark on a mission to replace many of the aging high-security prisons across the country. USP Canaan would be included in this construction mission. It shares the same design as many other high-security institutions, such as USP Terre Haute, USP Atwater, and USP Tucson. Construction would be completed and the prison would open for business on March 29, 2005. It sits on 445 acres and would cost taxpayers across the country $141 million. The average daily population of high-security inmates in 2021 was 1,219, although it has a maximum capacity of 1,630. On average, an inmate at this facility would be here from 60 to 119 months, or 5 to 10 years. If you are an inmate here, you better get settled in because you aren't going anywhere fast. The prison features 6 distinct V-shaped housing units, each split into 2, giving the facility 12 general population units. There is an additional specialized housing unit that can house up to 230 inmates with, for example, disciplinary issues. An ever-present tower looming in the middle of the prison has a full 360-degree view of the facility. The cells are a mere 78 square feet that houses 2 incarcerated men. Surrounding the facility is a double razor wire fence to prevent any escapes. There is also an additional 6 towers along the fence line. The prison uses cameras throughout the facility, with 474 in place, watching over the inmates' every move. Now that we have an understanding of the facility, let's move on to some of the violent incidents that have occurred here. Over the last several years, violence at this prison is a regular occurrence. Just take a look at the indictments coming out of the prison. Assaults and stabbings are a part of life at USP Canaan. Andrew Daniels stabbed his victim 8 times in his upper chest and abdomen in 2020. Earlier in 2021, Luis Barrero sliced another inmate with a contraband razor. In 2018, Brandon Shields assaulted another inmate with a lock and a piece of clothing, probably a sock. One of the more recent murders at the facility would occur on November 28, 2021. Inmate Dominique Spence was murdered. It was found that he sustained multiple sharp force injuries. Other notable murders occurred at the prison in 2010 and 2013. An associate of the Gambino crime family was murdered at USP Canaan on April 25, 2010. Alan Hurley stabbed Joseph O'Kane 92 times. Hurley is now being housed in the most restrictive prison in the federal system, ADX Florence. In 2013, a correctional officer at the prison would be brutally murdered. On Monday, February 25th, Eric Williams was working one of the housing units at the prison. The attack was absolutely ruthless. Williams would be stabbed with a shank more than 200 times by inmate Jesse Conwee. Conwee attacked Williams just before lockdown at 10 p.m. He kicked him down the unit stairs and continued his assault with 2 shanks. It would take 10 minutes for other staff to respond. One inmate was asked by the news why he didn't intervene. He said, "If I ran to help him, the feds wouldn't have taken 1 minute off my sentence." Conway would receive a life sentence, which some said was too light, since he was already never going to be released from prison due to a prior murder conviction. Eric's Law has been introduced to the U.S. Senate. The bill would allow prosecutors to retry the sentencing decision of the jury in capital offense cases if a unanimous decision is not reached, such as in this case. In the murder trial of Jesse Conway, one juror out of 12 decided against the penalty, forcing a life sentence. Before we move on to infamous inmates at this prison, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my new content. A man who attempted to overthrow the government of Cambodia is currently serving a life sentence at USP Canaan. Chun Yasit, aka the Cambodian Moses, was convicted of leading a rebel group armed with rockets and grenades against the Cambodian government, a US ally. Several people were killed in the attack. Yasit is a US citizen and was arrested in the US following the attack. Prosecutors said he planned the attack from Los Angeles. Another man convicted of participating in crimes outside of the US, Alexander Cody, better known as Jihadi George, is serving a life sentence at the prison. Cody was a member of ISIS, and more specifically, the Jihadi Beatles. He was one of 4 English-speaking representatives of the group who recorded their crimes and posted it on social media. He was arrested in Syria in 2018 and transferred to the US for trial. Cody pled guilty and was sentenced to life. An underboss of the Lucchese crime family is also being housed at USP Canaan. Stephen Crea, who rose to underboss of the family, will likely die at this prison. In true mob fashion, he participated in labor racketeering and other frauds. He made millions by siphoning money off the top of union contracts. Eventually, in 2019, he was indicted on murder and racketeering charges. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. This was a profile of USP Canaan. Thanks for watching. As always, see you next time.